Jams, jams, jams. Picture books and jams. Welcome, everybody, to PBJamz. Music and picture books, what a perfect sandwich. Squish them all together, what a yummy snack. PBJamz, yummy books and music. PBJamz, reading, writing, teaching. PBJamz, what a yummy treat. Jamming PBs all the time. PBJamz, songish books and bookish songs. Tips for music teachers, interviews and book reviews. A little singing and dancing. PBJamz, yummy books and music. PBJamz, reading, writing, teaching. PBJamz, what a yummy treat. Jamming PBs all the time. PBJamz.
Idea you had to do this musical picture book. I love that because I don't think anybody else is doing anything like that.
I don't think so. And I thought it was just such fun. I mean, there's so many books that have some sort of musical connections. And then I think when the idea cemented was when I realized that Annie Lynn and Tara Trudell, and I knew about Annie before I knew about Tara. Do you know either one of them?
I don't think so. Although
Okay.
sometimes when I see someone's art or their writing, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I do.
Right. Well, both of this. So Tara is an author, but she's also a songwriter. And Annie Lynn is, I think she does strictly songwriting, but Annie Lynn had written a song for the book, The Bear and the Piano by David Litchfield. I don't know if you know that book. But she had written a song for that, and Reese Keller had done a little interview with her and David, and I was like, that is such a cool idea. And that's when I didn't really realize up until then that it was kind of a thing for musicians to write songs to go along with stories. And so after that, I found out about the Laceras, Jorge and Megan Lacera, and Zombies Don't Eat Veggies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so Annie Lynn had written the song for that book. And I was like, okay, so not only do you have all these books that are musical within themselves, but then you have books that are not musical, like Zombies Don't Eat Veggies, but they've written a song. And so then that's a perfect vehicle for classroom teachers or for music teachers to pull those into their classroom. And now there's a musical connection because there's a song connected to it. And then in addition to that, you have all these musicians and songwriters that are writing musical content for kids. And a lot of that is somehow inherently related to literature. And if nothing else, as a classroom teacher turned music teacher, one of the presentations that I do for like reading councils and when I'm invited to do PD is, I have one called Sing a Story, Read a Song that talks about, building fluency by using song lyrics and having them read, they have to read it before they can sing it. And so you're automatically building fluency. And then it talks about some other ways. And so these musicians that are doing content for kids are also impacting literacy in the classroom and in the music room. And so I thought that's just three amazing audiences that you can bring together and then make classroom teachers aware of these, items. And so I'm trying to build an audience that is authors, and I'm trying to provide a little something for everybody, right? So the authors that are my friends that have been journeying with me, hopefully for them, these author tips are going to help them out. And then hopefully for the classroom teachers that are in my circle and beyond, in various groups that I'm a part of, hopefully they're going to come on and they're going to get tips like the ones that you shared earlier and like the ones that I'm going to link up for ways that they can use this particular book. And then I think once you get in that mindset, then it comes more naturally to you to look at the books for, okay, what can I use? How can I use this? First of all, you want to use it just for enjoyment. You want to teach the kids to love good literature, right? But then after that, like, Lester Laminack just did a great session at the North Carolina Reading Conference and he talked about using fiction as the front porch for nonfiction. That, you know, you have kids who love fiction and you have kids who love nonfiction. But for those kids who don't love nonfiction, they still need to learn to enjoy it and to read it well. And so he says, you know, you can use a fiction book as a front porch to get them in the door for nonfiction. And once you get them hooked with that fictional story, and there's these little elements, you know, and then you're like, oh, well, what about he does bees, you know? So he did the King of Bees. He wrote the King of Bees. And so he said, you can use that. And then people are like, well, I wonder about this about bees. And I wonder this about bees. And then you're into nonfiction.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can read a nonfiction book to answer that question. And so it's their curiosity, you know, that's leading them then into the nonfiction. So those kind of things just really, you know, they fascinate me. And I think I'm all about making connections. As I said, when I was in the regular classroom, I used a lot of the arts and a lot of other things. You know, I just think the more connections you make, the better your teaching is. And the same in the music classroom. I dare say I teach music differently than anybody else, because in my classroom on any given day, you're going to hear social studies or science or math, or as much as you're going to hear music, you know?
Yeah, I think that's really wonderful. And for kids to see not like each class is a separate sphere, but it's all how it's all interlinked.
How to connect. I just think it makes our learning so much stronger. At least it does for me. And I know every learner is different, but for those learners who are like me and who love seeing all those cool connections, hopefully this will give people a way to make those connections on their own. So that's my hope. And it's been really fun. I love doing it.
I like what you were saying about the nonfiction to lead in, because I think I was one of those kids who needed that push towards nonfiction, because it was really all about the story for me.
Yeah.
But now I feel like nonfiction is also getting to be a lot more narrative too.
Yeah.
Style, especially picture book biographies, and that it's really more enticing to kids than it used to be.
Yeah, I think so. And Melissa Stewart, I don't know if you follow her, but her whole petition recently, you know, for the kids love nonfiction and they need nonfiction. And I think it's true. And especially, and not to be gender specific, but when I was in the regular classroom, some of the girls too, but especially my boys, really gravitated toward the nonfiction. Like they really wanted the nonfiction, and that's how you hooked them. And they didn't really care so much about story. They wanted the cool facts and the cool pictures and all of that. And so for them, it would like be the opposite. The nonfiction would be the front porch for the fiction for them.
Yeah.
So I think it works both ways. But I was like you. I was more story dependent, and I didn't like, don't give me a nonfiction book, like that's boring, it's history, it's facts, it's, you know, but now like I love reading nonfiction if it's something I'm interested in.
Yes.
And I think that was Lester's point, is like, if you read a book that gets you interested in something, then you're gonna be interested to read the nonfiction part of it, even if that's not normally your jam.
Yep. Yeah.
PBJamz, jams, 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 picture books and jams. We'll see you next time for PB.